My name is Emily Atack and I'm a 21-year-old actress. Like any other person my age, I enjoy a few drinks at home or out and about with my friends. I've heard all the stories of Britain being a boozing nation out of control, and I want to find out for myself what dangers we face when we drink. I'm going to take a closer look at the drinking games we play and just what risks we're running. I'll carry out an experiment to work out how much we're actually knocking back.
60?
That's embarrassing.
I want to find out why we're drinking so
I
fast.
think the reason why people drink fast at the start is because they just want to get from there to there. From that point to the point of pissness as quickly as possible.
I'll meet people who have taken drinking games to the extreme. And I'll show them the possible consequences of their actions.
Oh my god, that one's got hair on it! Oh my god.
But it's on the front line that our nation's problems become scarily obvious.
The bus is now getting full.
Go on, chuck it.
With an estimated 6 million binge drinkers in the UK, my aim is to find out if drinking games are as innocent as they seem, and why so many of us are drinking so much and so quickly. To start with, I've invited a group of friends round to talk about what we think about our own drinking habits. We spend so much of our time downing drinks that we've never really discussed why we do it.
Where do you think we buy our drink from? Where's the main
Bargain booze. Straight away. Bargain booze.
Is that a place?
Yeah.
Cheaper the better.
Like if I walk into a shop and I see 8 ciders for £6, I'll be like, I don't even know if that's cheap, but it's a bargain. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to be happy.
We went up to Liverpool Uni, and at uni it's very pre-drinks, pre-drinks in your room. Who's going to pre-drink at mine? Pre-drinks. It's this new thing that everyone does. Having a glass of vodka lemonade is just as much a standard procedure as straightening your hair now.
What do you think about drinking games? Because we don't play that many
honestly,
drinking
I pay-
games.
I pay-
Downing a bottle of apple sours in front of a pub and everyone's like, do it. You go, yeah, right. And it's worth that 3 seconds of, I'm the man. And then 5 minutes later, it's I feel like I'm going to die.
But is it worth it? Do you think it's the crowd pleasing thing?
It's peer pressure for me, yeah.
Peer pressure. I think peer pressure is such a school playground phrase. It's we're adults. We should be able to just make our own decisions.
No, but then everyone will be like, oh, you're rubbish, you're boring.
I think even though everyone gets in all of that trouble, there's something about talking about it the next day, even though it was really bad and terrible. You're like,
it's a memory.
how funny was it?
Yeah,
that was funny.
Do you think any of us here, do you worry about your future health with the way you drink now?
I have the answer to your question.
Go on.
Ignorance is bliss. None of us care.
How much do we look in the mirror and go, I'm fat, and I'm thinking drink and food, but particularly drink. We sit there and go, I can't eat that. It's but we don't have a problem with drinking 4 bottles of wine, which is the equivalent of eating 7 donuts. Which is crazy.
4 bottles of wine is more than 7 donuts.
Oh, don't tell me that.
It's about 1,000.
I've been living by the donut scale for a long time now. It's working for me, okay?
I think that was really interesting. I've never had a conversation like that with a group of friends. One thing they did say, and this was when they're very honest, they said, you know what, we're young, we don't really care about the future right now. There is a small part of me that agrees with that, but I don't want to get to the point where I don't give a shit at all. I do want to care.
My first port of call is Newcastle, home to 42,000 students. I never went to university, but for most people, it's where you're first introduced to drinking games and drinking on a budget. I'm off to meet a group of Newcastle freshers who promise to show me a typical night out.
So it's Tuesday night. What would you normally expect to see on a Tuesday night? Is it busy in Newcastle?
Tuesday night, you get a lot of students come out of university sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock, sort of head back home, get ready for the night. A few bottles of wine, in the house or in the halls, and then come back out for the cheap bars, offering, shots for £1.
Would you say females are a bit more kind of hard to handle when they've had a drink? Really? Really?
Yes, all the time, all the time. Now we'll get 4 girls that's probably drunk the same amount of alcohol. You get them just for a laugh, they'll open the door.
Yeah.
You know,
gosh,
that's when
really?
it gets dangerous.
Do you put that down to sort of pre-drinking, preloading,
Yeah.
as they say?
Yeah. A lot of people, instead of going out and spending 60, 70 pounds on a night out, now will go to a supermarket or off licence and spend a third of that.
With all this kind of pre-drinking and preloading, have you ever had anybody vomit in the car on the way to a night out?
Yes, just recently 2 guys came out of the house, one of them, you know, half a bottle of wine in his hand. Can I get in the car with this? No, I'm sorry. You know, rather than put it down, I'll go back in the house and put it in. He actually drunk it. It was about a third of a bottle of wine, and he drunk it down in one go, and he was actually physically sick on the roadside, and this was sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So if he's drunk at 5:30, 6 o'clock, what's he going to be like at 8 and 9 o'clock, you know?
Hello, how you doing? Come in.
It's 6:30 and I'm meeting Dan and his friends, Laura, Heather, Josh and Katie for some pre-drinking.
And we'll have a couple of drinks as we're getting ready. Play some drinking games, put some music on, have just a daft laugh and stuff, and then go to town. But we probably drink more in the flat than what we do when we're out.
We do definitely get tipsy anyway. We get definitely on the way to being drunk, so we don't have to spend too much out. So this is Emily, these are the guys.
Hi! How are you?
One of my aims is to find out how much we drink on a normal night out.
So I brought a breathalyzer with me. Have you seen one of these?
So I've come up with an experiment that will help measure how much alcohol is actually getting into our system.
Basically, throughout the night, every hour, we're going to breathalyze each other to kind of see. It's a guideline to check how much alcohol is in breath. So yeah, we're going to do it every hour, on the hour, so don't lose me.
First, I ask everyone to write down what they've drunk so far. It's not a completely scientific experiment, but with the drink drive limit at 0.35 milligrams of alcohol per litre of breath, we will be able to tell how much over or under the limit we are with every couple of drinks. So I'll go first.
So you basically count to 5, give it a few seconds. 0. Clean as a whistle.
Not for long.
Katie and Laura have had a can of lager. Josh, a bottle and a half of beer. Dan, a rum and lemonade. And Heather, 1.5 glasses of wine.
0.22. Oh my god! You're being
Wasted.
0.22, but I actually feel like I've not even drank anything. It's so weird. How many units are in a bottle of wine? Because I'd say about 9. I'm going to say 9 or 10.
It's about 10 units, roughly.
Call me a dick.
A glass and a half of wine has about 3 units, so Heather's already drunk her daily recommended allowance of 2 to 3 units.
Yes, go on. Yeah.
Will you bring a fire then, guys?
Yeah. Bring a fire.
So we move on to a drinking game called Ring of Fire. I've played it before, but never got too involved. The way it works is that every card is a drink forfeit, and any group can make up their own rules to be as light or as extreme as they want.
Oh god.
Cheers.
You've got a dream.
This game, it takes a while to kind of get into it because I don't think anybody knows the rules.
8.
Oh, that was very close.
How was it your
This drinking game is a little too fun, and we're definitely knocking back these drinks pretty fast.
Are you feeling a little bit tipsy now?
I wonder what his breathalyzer is going to be now.
That was horrible.
Why do you think people play drinking games?
People want to get drunk or get tipsy before they go out, so I feel like drinking games adds the fun factor to it well as just, you know, getting tipsy, getting drunk, having a good laugh with everyone else.
I mean, who wants to sit in front of their telly and, and get drunk when you can,
socialise.
Yeah.
With this game, as fun as it is, I've actually drunk a lot quicker than what I would normally drink.
I know for a fact, like when I graduate and you know, I'm working and stuff. I won't be drinking like this. I won't be drinking excessively and doing all these games like this. But personally, I really enjoy, you know, freshers and nights out, and I'm sure a lot of people in this country do, or they wouldn't be doing it.
After 2 hours of drinking games and 2 breathalyzer tests, we are on to round 3. So let's see if playing this game has affected our levels. Katie so far has had 4 cans of lager.
42.
Oh my god!
While Heather, 2 glasses of wine and 2 rum and mixers.
That's in the break machine. 40.
60?
Heather's drunk the equivalent of 6 units of alcohol, and her reading is the highest out of everyone's.
60? That's embarrassing.
That is ridiculous.
That is embarrassing.
57.
Oh my god, you're so nearly as close as me.
I'm on my 6th glass now, and if I wasn't tallying all this up, I would have no idea. I'd probably think I'm on my 3rd.
My turn. In 2 hours of speed drinking, I've had 4 vodkas and coke and a shot of rum.
Mid 2. Lower 20s.
40.
Whoa!
No way!
40. I mean, what? Like, how is that? That's crazy. That's crazy.
So even before we head out for the night, pre-drinking meant that myself, Katie, Heather and Dan are already over the drink drive limit of 0.35. Preloading has become very common, with 78% of 18 to 34-year-olds pre-drinking before a night out. So as well as drinking cheaply at home, cheap drink promotions in bars and clubs are key to attracting the students.
Oh, promotions. Oh, we love promotions, don't we?
Special offers. It's like £1 mixers and like the vodka and mixers. You get like £1 shots, you get a free shot with drinks, £1 Jaeger bombs.
Sometimes you can get your pound drink, sometimes it stops at 12 o'clock. And I've seen me and my flatmates like, oh quick, we've got to get another drink, it's 11:45. So you feel like you've got to buy them because they're £1. I think it's really good that it's quite cheap, but then it can be bad as well because with it being so cheap, you might buy more than really what you should.
3, 2, me and my empty pint.
By 10:30, we're on to our next round of drinks.
Right, this is peer pressure of the highest level.
I'm definitely feeling the effect of all this drinking. No wonder my breathalyzer result keeps moving up. After drinking the equivalent of 7 units, Heather is at 0.71, over twice the drink drive limit.
I feel like I should slow down now, even though I feel fine.
If you didn't have the reading, you would just keep drinking and just not think anything of it.
Should we go somewhere else?
Let's go!
It's going well. I think the breathalyzing thing is really interesting because some of the girls are quite shocked. Every time we breathalyze, there's at least one of them that goes, oh my god, I can't believe I've actually drunk that much. And to be completely honest, it's made some of them drink less. I've asked 1 or 2 of the girls, and the reason why they've drunk less is because they realise what their result was before from the breathalyzer. So yeah, it's really interesting.
In 5 hours of drinking, us girls are averaging 10 units each, over 3 times the daily recommended amount. But when Dan's levels rocket up and mine hit 0.84, we decide it's best to call it a night.
I just feel that I drank quite quickly, more, quicker than usual. And I drank a lot more than usual as well because of the game and because of the fact that I felt the need to keep up because everybody else was doing the same thing. So you could call it peer pressure, or you could just call it being weak just to please the crowd.